Hi guys, Matt Hogg here, Program Director of the President Ford Field Service Council, and I'm here with Jon Hess, who is our Youth Protection Training Champion for the President Ford Field Service Council. And we're actually here to talk about youth protection because April is Youth Protection Month. So, Jon, maybe tell people a little bit about your background, about why you're probably the best person to be our Youth Protection Champion.
I've worked in law enforcement for the last 38 years and still currently doing that. So I have a lot of experience and knowledge about why this youth protection training is so very important and why the safety of our kids is so very important. Parents and significant others and those that have kids in programs, they want to make sure their kids are safe, and this is very important for the Boy Scouts.
I agree. We have an amazing program, and we want to make sure that while our kids are outside playing in the woods, getting filthy, nasty, dirty, because that's what they all want to do, is that we have adults helping them and making sure that they're safe, not just physically but also mentally, and that nobody can do any harm to them, and that's the real ultimate goal. I mean, as much as this is a tough conversation to have, I think it's probably a very important one. Because people that want to harm children, unfortunately, we have them in our program.
Unfortunately, yeah. But as a leader, the confidence that you have been trained and you know what to look for, and when you're working with kids, it helps you too to feel confident that what you're doing is right and that you can recognize something so someone doesn't get hurt. So it's just as important for the leaders as anything else.
Yep. And I would definitely say this is not just for protection of kids, protection of leaders too, so making sure you understand your responsibilities. And we're going to actually transition here in just a second. I'm going to show you a website that's going to have a lot of information that's going to be here for you guys to see. So this is the Youth Protection Training page for the Boy Scouts of America. This has all kinds of information on it, and it will actually take you and show you where you can take an updated youth protection. Because my understanding, right, all youth protection has been updated.
Yes, YPT 2 has just come out and been updated. It's been designed to address some of the more current issues and some of the things that we need to know about. And it is online. It takes about an hour to do, but it is in segments, so you can stop and go back to those if you don't have a full hour to do it.
Yep, definitely. So if you've taken youth protection in the past, I know when I took it, it covers the traditional youth protection we're used to, and obviously updated. But it also goes a little bit more into bullying prevention. So how do you address that within your scouting unit if some kids are maybe picking on each other, and making that helping those kids out and making sure that it's not going to be a continued problem. So this site has a lot of interesting things. It talks a lot about youth protection. It talks about the 3 R's of youth protection, which are, Jon, if you
respond and recognize and report. Anything that you see as a leader or a kid would come to you and say, I think this is going on, you need to report it right away. It is your responsibility as a leader, as you see it on your own or someone tells you to report it. It's better to report it and find out that it's nothing at all than to not do it and find out later that there has been a big problem. And so by this training, we'll help you recognize it yourself. Will help the kids recognize it, and reporting it and then making the proper response through the Scout Executive is most important.
Yep, and we would always ask you if there's anything that you suspect, we'd ask you to go to law enforcement first and then alert the Scout Executive second, because the first priority is the protection of that boy. We want to make sure that they're safe and taking out of a situation if it's there. So this website has a lot of information. We're not going to read it all because you guys can definitely read. It talks about the policies. It talks about 2 Deep leadership, steps to reporting child abuse. It talks about inside every single Cub Scout and Boy Scout book is a youth protection parents guide. So that's in here. And also if you're like, hey, I was given a used book and that wasn't in there, you can actually go down and download this guide off that youth protection page right here. And it comes in English and Spanish. The other thing I think that's important too is, we're talking about this training that we're talking about is for adults, but this sometimes happens to kids, unfortunately. And there's a training I think that we should talk about that units are aware of that you can utilize within your scouting unit. And there's several different versions. One I'm going to show you is the Boy Scout version. This is called the Time to Tell, and this actually goes through different scenarios of scouts or youth and things that have could happen and how to have a kid combat that. It also talks about who they can go to and trust. The one thing that's on this website too that I'm showing you is it actually has a troop meeting guide for all those videos, and a Cub Scout meeting guide talks about what you should do if you want to run one of these. Talking to parents, maybe having somebody that's in a pastor or somebody there that has some sort of background that can do some counseling if, God forbid, this happens. Unfortunately, it does. I mean, we're not trying to be alarmists, but we also want to be...
No, and law enforcement is well trained to accept your concerns and to understand them and look at them carefully. And they also, in certain situations, become and help you participate in this type of thing and share this information as well so that everybody is clear on what they need to know.
Excellent. Excellent. The other couple things I think I'll show you on this website is we have the Cyber Chip program, which is basically online safety, bullying awareness, which is probably something that I would have every leader that's working with Scouts look at. But that's helpful for you guys. Now, with this brand new youth protection training that's coming up, YO2, when do you have to have it done by, John?
October 2018 is the requirement to have it done. It's now good for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have a little bit time, though. You cannot begin your charter unit until you've gone through the training and all the adults have been trained. So that is one of the prerequisites as well as you're getting started. So, and even though it's good for 2 years, all these resources that we're showing you are things that you should continually do. Don't just assume, okay, I've got 2 years now, I don't have to worry about it. You need to stay up on top of it, and there's going to be more updates as we go along that'll be very important.
Very true, very true. And you're probably going, well, I just took this training, maybe right before you renewed your charter in November, December. Do I have to take it again? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
That's because it's been a dramatic change and an update. And the training is about an hour, but again, it's broken up into smaller modules, so you don't have to sit there for an entire hour. I believe the first module is about 20 minutes, and the rest are about 15 minutes or so, so you can break them up into little pieces as you get them done. And they do work well on smartphones and tablets. You don't just have to sit at a computer as well. So what I want to do is I want to take you guys now to the Youth Protection site. So if you're on this Youth Protection page, you can click right here. If you go to my.scouting and log in there, which has a training portal. Actually, let me go back there and I'll show you how. So I log in, go to my.scouting. It'll load up. And I already logged in, so it just logged me back in. And then you would go over here to take your youth protection training. This is your main page when you log in. It'll be on your right. You can see that I just took it at the end of February to make sure that I was up to date. But what you want to do is if you don't have a completion date that's in 2018, you're going to definitely want to go in and take it. So do your take course. It'll take you to the Scouting U page. Soon?
Matt, as we're waiting for this, hopefully in the future there will be some ability for us to come to your unit and train adults as a group if that's something you would like to. So there's going to be lots of ways to make sure you get this accomplished.
Yep. Some of you have, I know, have checked out some of our facilitators' guides and done them face-to-face training with a group. The new training is not available yet, but we do understand it will be out shortly.
Very shortly, yes.
As soon as that is, look for an announcement on our Facebook page, probably some emails from your unit serving executive or your unit commissioner letting you know about that. So now that I'm logged into the Scouting U page, I just want to click on this. If you want to watch a short video from Michael Sarbar, our Chief Scout Executive, about why he feels youth protection is important, feel free to click right on that. But click on the one on the left, and it'll take you right to the page here. And it's loading up. And as you can see, you just need to go here. There are going to be some updated modules that they will add on here that might have to do with camping, some youth-on-youth type things. They'll also be working with youth leadership. So they have a bunch of things that won't be required, but would be helpful for you as a leader, especially for those that are in Boy Scouts and venturing for your youth leaders as well. And then you would just click on, I've already completed it, but if you do need to take it, you just click on the youth protection training here, and you see you can launch course, and those are the 4 modules that you'd have to do. 3 are like videos with some interactive stuff, and the last one is a certification test. That's actually, if you watch the videos, it's fairly easy. Well, we're just about out of time. John, is there anything else you'd like to share with anybody out here?
Well, I really want to stress again, the Boy Scouts are staying very vigilant with this training. It's very, very important for staff, volunteers, and for the youth. There's nothing more important than the safety of the kids that we work with, and so we appreciate you taking the time to do this. There's so much online for you and so much that you can learn and can stay up on top of, and we're there to help you. That's why this video is here, so if you have any questions, contact us. But this is probably the most important thing that we do other than providing the services is keeping the kids safe.
Definitely, definitely. And if you do have questions, feel free to leave a comment underneath this video. We do monitor our social media quite well, so it might be a day or so to get back to you, but we will do our best to answer that question. Or contact your unit serving executive, unit commissioner, or any of the training team. So, John, thanks again for coming out today. And guys, thank you for being leaders, and thank you for having up-to-date training.
And thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.